evening. I am Misha Charles and I am your presenter for today. Thank you for joining us for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, 4 people injured in a vehicular accident near the Cove. Grenada general election set for February 19th. Syria conflict causing staggering humanitarian crisis. And in sports, 2 major upsets in Lime Premier League. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Being diagnosed with anything can be hard, but mental health diagnosis can be particularly hard to deal with. Some may wonder why this has happened to them and how a diagnosis will affect their life. No matter what, it is important that individuals remember that the ones diagnosed are not their diagnosis. They are merely people that happen to be dealing with a mental disorder. This is why on Sunday, January 13th, the community health team hosted the 12th annual APU concert at the psychiatric unit. Dr. Griffin Benjamin commended all those who helped to put the concert together.
At the Princess Margaret Hospital, Ms. Fabian and Ms. Williams and Mr. Brian have been very supportive of us for the last year. Anything we ask for, they would consider very favorably and help us to achieve the things we set out to achieve. This is 2013 and we continue to look forward to support from you, Ms. Fabian, and whoever the agency is that you're working with. The Ministry of Health, there are no representative here today. It's one of the first times that we have had no representative. The PS is out of state, so I can apologize for her. She has always come. She's not here, so I apologize for her. But I would say it would not be fair for me not to ask for a few things, even if they are absent.
Dr. Benjamin says the objective as a team is to improve the quality of life of the patient. He added that the Ministry of Health and the government is much needed to make this objective a reality. Dr. Benjamin explains the main objective for this year.
Is to accept our national mental health policy, and I look forward to getting this thing off, and I will talk to work for the hospital and the ministry to get this to happen this year. We also want to integrate better mental health with other social services where we can provide better support. You see the vagrants on the street, and I know we are all worried about them. They need a better housing, they need better food, better care. And with working with the social support services, we can improve their life through better housing and better feeding program.
One of the patients, Miss Daphne Nelson, recited a poem.
Like the sun I shine, believing in myself and my talent, confident, humble and ambitious, courageous. Like Chris Brown, from nothing to something, falling like an angel who's cast out of heaven, left with nothing. Determination, faith, confidence and inner strength, they make me stand again. Memories of past experience, they gave birth to pain. Memories of yesterday, it's hard to abstain. I walk one step at a time, but my mind focuses on failures of yesterday. Will I ever achieve success?
The Cicely singers performed a lovely song also. Patients appear to be having a good time listening to music, poems, singing, and other talents. Calypsonian Daddy Chess also came to the stage and delivered an exciting performance where the patients.
We graduated into a new bracket. Seems like one big circus. Can't tell who is smoky and who is bandit. Illegal weapons are amongst us.
Calypso King Dice also gave an energetic performance.
And have some fun with it. If you want to dance, start a dance to it. Wow. The struggle to survive in Dominica getting harder and harder. And if you can survive here, you can make it anywhere. When your own government will not help you, the financial institutions don't care about. As a young singer and a struggling man, I really believe here in my own land. Whoa! Imagine me as a singer in my Dominica.
Individuals diagnosed with mental disorders are typically deemed unable to function in society, hence the reason for the annual concert.
On my own, some getting concession, while me the local man. On my own, all politicians doing the same thing. It's more their supporters and them they helping. With nowhere to turn, struggling alone. Youth with frustration is gangs of migration. What you expect Dominicans to do when they see them? Leave them.
All they run their own.
A jam. I said you have to help me too. Thank you very much for my choir. Yeah, man. I give it.
In more news, statistics have shown that walkers have less incidence of cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and other dangerous diseases. They live longer and get mental health and spiritual benefits. The Sports Division believes that walking is a gentle, low-impact exercise that can ease you into a higher level of fitness and health. They also try to educate the public that walking is a form of exercise accessible to just about everybody, and this is why a health walk was held on Saturday, January 12th in Grand Bay. Whilst individuals walked from Tête Lalée to Font Saint-Jean, they were reminded that walking is safe, simple, does not require practice, and the health benefits are many. One of the persons who participated in the walk says she found it very beneficial, though it could have been a longer route.
Well, because it's a health walk, it helps to stay away from heart disease and other related diseases.
Okay, and what would you tell people from the other communities about the health walk?
Well, it was a good walk, although it could have been a little further. And though people were strolling at the back, but they should have walked a little closer together and we should have reached another distance.
And why should people walk?
So that they can stay fit. They could stay fit. So that they'll have nice shape and they'll have a brighter future.
Member of the Sports Division, Mr. Reginald Thomas, said the Sports Division saw the need to sensitize the public on the rise in non-communicable diseases.
We saw the need for the rise of obesity in our country and the non-communicable diseases. So we decided to sensitize the public so that they could be aware and take note before it get too heavy on them.
How did you find the walk today?
It was all right, I must say. Easy for me over the rest.
Okay, so you hope that other people from other communities come on board?
Yeah, I think the public should be more aware and come out and walk because it's for their own good.
Mr. Abraham Brown, sports officer for the Southern District, added that the main objective of these walks is to demonstrate how simply walking can have a positive impact on your body and health.
And really that is a way of telling people that they can use a simple and inexpensive activity to help prevent chronic non-communicable diseases. So what we have really done this Saturday was to try to sensitize as many people as possible. Really we did that, but because of the early rain that restricted the numbers of people that we were expecting. However, as officer for the area, I would like to compliment the people from the village of Dubic. In terms of percentage, they probably form about 75% of our group, and as the people of Dominica would know, Dubic is the is the champion sporting community, and that shows like they are very keen on sports and they are very keen on activity and they are very keen on most of the activities that are taking place in this.
Sports officer Mr. Eugene John said despite the weather and the late start, they stuck to their task.
And we're here at FAB, and the opportunity is a great one because it's my first time here, and I'll be wanting to come back here maybe on another health walk. So I'm asking you and the rest of the public that recognize that this effort is not just a one-time thing. Our true purpose is to help sensitize the public on the importance of CNCDs, on the importance of physical activity as we help combat the effects of CNCDs, such as hypertension, diabetes, and the adverse effects of obesity.
Another participant, Mr. Kevin James, made mention that the Sports Division is on a drive to brief the public on ways to stay healthy verbally and physically.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, the cricketers in the country, if they can come out and support this initiative, it would be good for sports in Dominica in general. And of course, I'll pass on the message to them. We still have one more, the Roseau Valley. That will be my district, so obviously I will be at them to come out there and support this initiative.
What's your message to Dominicans out there about exercise?
Well, exercise, you know, you have to do it, I mean, if you go out there and you do a couple hours a day, or if it's just about an hour a week, if you can, it will obviously help you. You will feel better, you'll feel fitter. Fitter mind works better, I can assure you that.
Selected tourism personnel and media employees were all excited as they were treated to a once-in-a-lifetime experience on Saturday, January 12, 2013. They were invited on board the Volvo Open 70 racing yacht True North, which took them on a sailing trip off the coast of Dominica. The True North visited Dominica for a week as part of its promotional tour to promote Dubai in the United Arab Emirates as a candidate city to host the World Expo in 2020. Dominica, as a member country of the Bureau International des Expositions, will have a vote in November 2013 to determine the successful candidate city to host World Expo 2020. Captain of the True North, Alistair Moore, said this tour is a perfect opportunity for regular people to experience a ride about what is considered as a Formula One race car of the ocean, the Volvo Open 70 race yacht. He said this tour will be used as a format to get people to discuss the problems they are experiencing and new ways of solving them.
Being here in Dominica is amazing to see how you guys utilize your amazing geography. You've got hydroelectricity, you're looking into geothermal electricity, you've got pretty good waste management systems, the oceans are clean, people respect the environment, and Dominica is an amazing place to come and visit. I know my wife and I want to come back here and live here one day. It's such an amazing place. But what we're doing with the boat is connecting minds, getting people together, talking about, well, for me, my passions, sailing and the maritime industries. But it's just it's a format to get people together outside their comfort zones and to experience a phenomenal yacht, have some good hospitality, and experience the world through people's stories.
Captain Moore says that it is important for Dubai to host the World Expo 2020 as they have been creating a lot of new technology to be friendlier to the environment and less reliant on oil and fossil fuels. He mentioned that Dubai is seeking intelligent ways to solve environmental issues rather than just burying them. He believes that recycling into new materials is the approach we all need to take.
Upcycle is a great term where people are getting old plastic bottles, putting them through a small process and turning them into good knitwear, good clothing from old plastic bottles. So there's all sorts of different ideas that we talk about, and by coming on board you go onto a big register where everybody has the ability to keep in touch and to exchange their ideas. And the more people that get to come out with us, the more that Dubai are happy with what we're doing. But the bigger the effect is that we have by creating a unique experience for people from all over the world to share. This is something that very few people get to do. Less than 1% of all proper sailors get to sail on a boat like this. And here we are bringing whoever wants to come out for a sail. So it's quite unique, really, what we're doing here.
Every 5 years, World Expos attract millions of visitors who explore and discover pavilions, exhibitions, and cultural events staged by hundreds of participants, including nations, international organizations, and businesses. Shanghai 2020 World Expo, which had 73 million visitors, featured a Caribbean community pavilion. Captain Moore indicated that the True North is a US $10 million race yacht made up of carbon fiber and weighs approximately 18 tons. He said they are extremely fast, strong, and lightweight. However, they can cost a lot of money to maintain. He highlighted that Dominica needs to benefit a lot more from the boating community by creating a solid marine industry. He said it would have the ability to host sailing regattas and world-class cruises.
We departed from Ireland about 3 months ago. We sailed across the Atlantic, and our first port of call was Barbados. From there we went to Bequia, from Bequia to St. Lucia to Dominica. From here we're off to Antigua, and then from Antigua through to the Dominican Republic, from the Dominican Republic to Haiti, Haiti up to Bahamas, Bahamas across to Cuba, and then Cuba down to Panama. Hopefully, our plans do change, but that is the plan at the moment.
Captain Moore stated that Dominica lends itself amazingly to the maritime and marine industries with very hospitable people. He added that one way in which the citizens can earn a very good living is to utilize the wonderful coastlines we are blessed with and get involved in the marine industry. Owner of the Dominica Marine Association, Mr. Hubert Winston Jr., noted it was a lifetime experience to be aboard such a wonderful yacht.
Yachting has been in existence in Dominica for many, many years through Portsmouth and the other environs, Soufriere, as Scott said. And what we're trying to do is to bring it back even bigger than what it was before, because Dominica was the hub for produce and agriculture exports through the region. And the only means of transportation back then were sailboats, sloops. So we're bringing it back, but bring it back in a different aspect of it. Get the kids involved and then get the yachts, regional yachts passing through, getting to stop and enjoy Dominica.
One of the main goals for the Dominica Marine Association is to promote Dominica as a yachting destination, while filtering out all news that gets out to make sure the right audience is captured.
I think there is in the pipeline right now Triskel Cup, which is from Guadeloupe. They should be doing an event here in March, or either March or May, in Portsmouth. So hopefully that will be one of our first regattas, signature regattas on the island. And then I guess later on people will get to know about it when it becomes, the planning becomes more concrete. But the idea is to get sailing here from the kids to the adults.
And the Dominica Fire Station can be thankful as they receive new gear from the Global Fire Institute on Monday, January the 14th. Some of the gear included protective hats, uniforms, jackets, and boots. Nation Fire representative Mr. Patrick Bradley is a firefighter with Global Fire, as well as a professional firefighter in Canada with the London department.
This equipment that you see here and the firefighters that you see standing here are part of an operation that essentially started about 10 years ago, which we began our relationship with the people of the Isle of Dominica. And over the last 8 months, through the strong efforts of Chief Dupuis and a great deal many long-distance phone calls, we were able to get over 1,300 pounds of equipment down to your firefighters here. One of the things that we do as a charity organization with Global Fire is we find countries and organizations that have not just a requirement for equipment, but a requirement for training.
Mr. Bradley made mention that they recruit fire officers from Canada and take them to countries such as Dominica.
And we bring training and abilities in such things as firefighting, forcible entry, and water rescue awareness and capabilities to your firefighters. It helps make a better community and a better service. So I'd just like to say thank you very much to all the firefighters who are on the course. They've performed extremely well. Myself and Bob are very impressed with what we've seen and the effort that they put forward. And the people of Dominica should be very happy with the service that they're provided by Chief Dupuis and his excellent team of firefighters. Thank you very much.
Chief Fire Officer Mr. Josiah Dupuis expressed his gratitude on behalf of the fire services in Dominica. He said this is a proven fact that Global Fire works with us to better our services. He added that most of the equipment will be used for search and rescue missions.
Global Fire is not just about
giving equipment, but they are also very much interested in doing training. And so over the last 5 days, tomorrow will be the last day, they've engaged our fire officers in doing training. We're talking here about skills to do with practical firemanship, search and rescue, and I am sure, as I have gotten feedback, both from the instructors and also the trainees, that they are in fact better for it because of the work that Bob and Pat has done for them. I would like you to join with me as we put our hands together for Global Fire for what they've done.
Mr. Dupuis says he is impressed with the level of commitment that they have shown, and he wishes them nothing but the best.
I am really happy that they now are joining with established volunteer groups like we have in Bioche, established groups that we have in Calibishi, and there are several more across the island that we have done work with. We can now hand over, and I did say it at the closing ceremony, that we are working feverishly to get you some equipment, and this morning it comes to reality, and I'm just so happy about that. So this morning, because of the efforts of Global Fire, we can now ensure that you get in your hands some sort of clothing article and small pieces of equipment that will really assist you in doing what we have trained you to do.
4 individuals were rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital following a vehicular accident. The unfortunate incident occurred at approximately 9:30 p.m. on the Kinfield Highway on Friday, January 11th. Reports are that the young male driver of a white Honda CR-V, registration number PN745, which belonged to his father, was driving at a high speed on the highway. Upon navigating the tight turn in the vicinity of the Cove nightclub, he lost control of the CR-V. The vehicle then ran off the road and climbed the hillside across a gutter on the side of P.H. Williams and Company Limited, where it overturned. The vehicle was extensively damaged as a result of the incident. One onlooker said the occupants were lucky to be alive when he saw the extent of the damage the vehicle suffered. Further details are not available at this point, but SAT-TV News will provide an update as soon as more information is available. And after a 2-day delay due to rain, Pat Aaron's Showdown Mass Camp kicked off at its new venue on the grounds of the Public Service Union on Sunday, January the 13th. Calypsonian Triumph started the show with his song titled Progress, which warmed up the crowd, followed by Lady B, who sang Open the Hole, which the crowd enjoyed. Things started to heat up when Peacock came on stage, but had to explain the meaning of his controversial song, which amused the crowd.
To clarify the song tonight, it is about carnal knowledge that men, instead of going into a woman where private part is going into the woman opposite. Okay? So that is the purpose of making the song. So it is boom boom bust. Bota, pete, let's go, let's go.
Newcomer Leone kept the crowd entertained with her song titled Do Unto Others with a very energetic performance. Woksok, who became popular for his food-oriented songs such as Finger Licking Chicken and Sharon Want a Hot Dog in Her Mouth, switched things up this time around as his new song is titled You're Your Camera to Your Eye. One of the big songs for Calypso 2013, titled Espoir Malpapai, which means male pawpaw trees, was performed by the young and talented trendsetter.
Who can make a male pawpaw tree talk? But who can make it be a crop? And the wasteful cost of maintaining them put us in all this problem. A male pawpaw tree in the education ministry. A male pawpaw tree
cherry. A male guapo tree in the health and youth ministry. A strain and a drain on a struggling economy. Up to now, petrol carry price still high. Seco coming in July. One day Tony will stop line.
Vigilante, who made it to the Calypso finals for 2012, got in touch with his animal instinct as he came on stage dressed as a dog to perform Hand Between Your Legs, which was a crowd pleaser. 2012's Road March King Sai, who sang his song titled Just for One Day, targets the discrimination faced by police officers who serve and protect while the criminals are the ones getting sympathy. The song, he says, also sheds light on the dangers the officers face on a daily basis, yet still they do not receive the recognition they deserve.
So just for one day, we gon' take a holiday. Just for one day, let drugs and vagabonds have their way. Things will get really hot. The media will have a lot to report. We, the children of Malawi, risking our lives every day. We respect the public rights to know. So what's up with that piece of video? Just for one day, let we see how they cope when we gone. Just for one day, let we get out of town. See what would go down in the Island with the police boots on the ground. On the ground.
Performing directly after Sai was Deros singing Bayo Baba Len, which sheds light on the December 2010 firebombing of attorney Glensworth Emmanuel's house and how justice has not been served to this day, although a known criminal fully confessed to committing the act. This was one of the best performances of the night, which the crowd fully enjoyed. Newcomer Daddy Miller certainly did not disappoint when he performed his controversial song, Illegal Calypso King.
If the commissioner of police illegal, then the Calypso King can be unconstitutional too. Oh. If the Prime Minister illegal and the President illegal, then I want to be your first. So grab me, grab me, grab me. People don't have to respect me. I am willing to do anything. Yeah, I just can't wait to be king. Grab me now. Still and daddy. Everybody
Other Calypsonians for the night were The Bob, Soul Poos, while five-time Calypso King Denison Dice Joseph brought down the curtains on the event.
And teacher, after my mother and father, you have been my mentor. I wonder if you knew my first crush on me. And teacher, you never seem to mind spending that extra time so that no child is ever left behind. And teacher, government might not own you, but heaven holds a place for you alongside the greatest teacher. And teacher,
lead institution in the protection of agricultural resources is the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture. This year they are focusing heavily on keeping exotic pests from entering the country. In 2012, they had a number of pests, including black sigatoka and the citrus greening disease, which have caused havoc in the agriculture industry in Dominica. Head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, Mr. Ryan Amsen, says this year they are focusing on continuing the education process of the general public so that these pests do not enter Dominica.
The Ministry of Agriculture has put measures in place. We have implemented an integrated action plan by removing all infested plants, that is sanitation, which is our #1 strategy. What we want the farmers and what we have encouraged the farmers to do is to practice strict sanitation in the fields, do a de-leafing program, that is removing and manicuring the infested leaves, and that will reduce the inoculation of the disease and will help to control the disease.
Currently, they are reviewing the legislation, which is the Plant Protection Act of 1986. This is because the legislation does not cover all the invasive species and enforcement that needs to be taken.
The second factor is that the SPS agreement was revised in 1995, and we have to be in compliance with the SPS agreement, which is of 1995. So for us, one of our priority this year is for us to pass this new bill, which will be called the Plant Protection and Quarantine Act. And it is very important moving forward. It will help us to safeguard our country from all these invasive species and to take the necessary action when we have to.
People should be very cautious when bringing in plant material from overseas and should take the necessary steps to protect our crops from being contaminated. Mr. Ansem says the ministry has spent over $6 million in dealing with black sigatoka and citrus disease alone, and this is very costly.
And as I always say, a pest or disease can't buy an airline ticket, it can't enter into the plane by itself. It has to take human. It has to take someone bringing an infested material into the country. So we have to be conscious of that, and we have to do all what's necessary to prevent the further introduction of exotic pests. Exotic pests that we do not have, such as the citrus canker, the leafal yellowing that is in Jamaica, palm weevil. These are dangerous pests all around us, and we have to do all what we can do in 2013 and beyond to prevent this invasive species from entering to Dominica.
Mr. Ansem is urging farmers to continue to cultivate their plantains, bananas and citrus crop and to work with the ministry in dealing with the diseases that plague them.
I am optimistic that 2013, that the farmers of the land will go back to the field. The banana and plantain farmers will adhere to the requirements for the management of black sigatoka. We will make a special effort to sanitize our field and to de-leaf, and that is the #1 strategy in managing black sigatoka. And we are asking the farmers to be productive, to keep the faith in farming. You can still sustain your family by farming.
And 20 Calypsonians have been selected for the semi-final rounds of the 2013 Calypso competition. The quarterfinals, which took place on Saturday, January 12th, saw an enormous group of fans who came to see the performances of 32 artists. Unfortunately, there were several casualties from the competition, which included former two-time Monarch Observer, veteran Piki, Man himself, Mighty Lugas, and last year's newcomer Checo. Those who moved on to the semi-finals included Hunter with another youngster.
As a team, to build the children's dream, otherwise they'll be gone. More mothers will lose their sons. Left to one, look another mother, just lost her son. Mama Bowling,
Another one of the advancers included Webster Webb Marie, who sang Legacy. The crowd looked on to see what Webb had to offer.
Ask what the heck am I doing? Whenever I turn a blind eye to deceit, lies and dishonesty, to counterfeit fake values in this country. Our scruples are quickly decaying, eroded by personal gain. Parasites making a killing, while others are feeling the pain. Lofty men, devoid of integrity, greedy men with loyalty to money.
Daddy Chairs cruised his way to the semis with his piece called Madness.
Our business is firing while the federal is hiring. Madness is madness. 2 airports and 4 seaports, dwindling exports and more imports. Madness is madness. All thugs and crime broke while the Chinese wearing the money clock. Local business under pressure, so sad. Province moving kung fu movies everywhere about the Chinese. Mad, 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 mad. Oh, more madness on the outside, then madness on the inside. It's mad, 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 mad. It's mad, 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 mad. More madness in this country than the mental penitentiary. It's mad, 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 mad. It's mad, 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 mad. So I make up my mind, going on my own accord. I'm moving to the psychiatric ward. Loco, he's loco, loco, he's loco. Wait, wait, yeah, 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 man, Kaiso, yeah, man.
Chris Metal, Ghetto Prince, Kelly Williams, and Ras Kelly all made it with their songs. Newcomer Electras, whose song continues to grow along as the competition continues, also made it.
And they operated effectively, that's a woman's world. And when I see women's role in building the economy, being recognized globally, that's a woman's world. And when I see you in a shirt flag in the sky, put us to it, women, we must not deny on our strong women. Our men have to rely, be on the alert. That's a woman's world. Boy, yeah. Boy,
The others who made it included the likes of Checker, When I Die, Along the Black Diamond, and his father, Explosion, Soul Puss, Jammer B, Dara Bob, Find a Way, and Caressa with Gentle Rest. Also getting the green light were Veteran Scrunter with Family Prescription, Sai, Benno, and Shadow Flow. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
What are you doing?
Mommy, I want this.
No.
I want this. I want this.
If he was my child, I would give him some good hard lashes. If you want something, you have to ask for it nicely.
Okay, Mommy.
Teach your child the right way. And remember, we can discipline without hitting. Make the right choice today.
Bet you can't tell the difference between these two white shirts. Bet you can't tell the difference between these two kitchen floors. One shirt was cleaned with the popular brand name bleach, and the other was cleaned with super bleach. One kitchen floor was disinfected with the popular brand name bleach, and the other with super bleach. Bet your pocket knows the difference. Super bleach costs less than the other popular brand name bleach, and does the exact same job. So the next time you want a super white shirt or a super clean floor, reach for super bleach and get the same results as those brand name bleaches for less money. Available in in regular and fresh scent.
Strapped for cash after the holidays? No cash? No worries. With the easy, affordable, and flexible Quartz Ready Finance, you can have what you need now. And with special deals for the month of January, there's no better time to shop. Quartz, bringing value home.
Feel the power surging. Watch out them doors, them open. Lean back, feel the magical work of Appleton. Walk up on high and floating. Sorry, but I really can't help a gloating. I said lean back and feel the magical taste of Appleton. Appleton, come turn me on. Appleton, and walk up my body. Appleton, chase on love. Appleton, oh, I feel in the party. Appleton, come turn me on. Appleton, walk up my body. Appleton, chase on none. Appleton, oh, I feel in the party.
Welcome back. In news from the region, general elections in Grenada will be held on Tuesday, February 19th. The date was announced at a Sunday evening rally of the National Democratic Congress by party leader and Prime Minister Tillman Thomas. He said the time is right to seek a new mandate from the people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Parliament, which was prorogued in September, was dissolved last week, paving the way for the general election announcement. At the dissolution of Parliament, the NDC, which won 11 of 15 seats at elections in 2008, held just 6 with 4 of the main opposition New National Party. 5 other parliamentarians who won their seats as NDP MPs were sitting in the House of Representatives as backbenchers. In more regional news, former Chief Justice Sir Burton Hall has said that the question of whether the judicial system in the Bahamas will ever gain independence is a dispute that will continue until the Second Coming. That was one of several recommendations Hall offered to the Constitutional Commission. Hall, who is now a judge of the United Nations International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, has been critical of the jury system for years. When asked to expound on that recommendation, Hall said the jury system is inefficient. It's inefficient both in terms of time and in terms of money. But more importantly, it dawns on me that something has to be wrong about the most serious criminal charges being determined by a body who gives no reasons for its decisions, end quote. Hall added that the Constitution also ought to guarantee similar protections to Supreme Court judges as it does to Family Island administrators who make decisions on judicial matters. The Commission is expected to make its recommendations on or before March 31st, 2013. And on the international scene, the Middle East faces a staggering humanitarian crisis caused by the conflict in Syria. With more than 600,000 Syrians having fled the country, the International Rescue Committee is calling on the outside world to step up its response. The US-based group describes the level of rape and sexual violence occurring in the conflict as horrific. In the latest violence, at least 13 people were killed in an airstrike on a Damascus suburb. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, SOHR, said at least 8 children were among those killed in the strike on a rebel-held suburb of Madamia. In addition to those who have left the country, at least 2 million people are thought to be internally displaced within Syria. You are watching SAT-TV News. When we get back, Sports with Larry.
I know it is confusing out there with so many prices and so many stores, and you are trying to figure out how to do the maths on savings. Well, don't worry, we will do the maths for you. It is our business to deliver the best product at the best prices. So when you shop at Astafans, you don't need to do the maths, we have done it for you. And best of all, take the savings and use it to pay for something else, helping you save money. That's our business.
All planting trees to protect the environment. Register at your nearest village council's office. Après bon Dieu, c'est la terre. Yup. Go Echo.
Welcome back. In sports news, there were two major upsets in the Lime Premier League while action continues in the National League of the Dominica Football Association. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Gerald Judge, has more information.
In a double header on Saturday, defending champions KFC Harlem United were held to a 3-0 draw by bottom place team Wacky Rollers at the Geneva grounds after enjoying a 2-0 advantage. Presley Boyd led the twice from the penalty spot, with Kerry Allen scoring 1 for Harlem. Kelly the Crab Peters scored 2 goals for Wacky, with Kevin Christmas scoring 1. Meanwhile, at the Pori playing field, league leaders Scotiabank Bathurst State suffered a setback with a 2-1 defeat at the hands of Icons Football Club. Oberwally Warner and Karen Prosper scored for Icons, while Dalton Bandits got a whole goal for Bathurst State. On Sunday, St. Martin Point Michel bounced back from last weekend's drubbing to beat RIC Kensbro 3-2 at the Pori playing field.
Randolph Peltier scored 2 goals for Point Michel, while Bert Casimir scored the other goal. Gary Defoe and Craig Reedy for 1 goal each scored for Kensbro.
Meanwhile, the match between Surgical Southwest and Logan Concrete and Steel Buggers was called off due to unplayable conditions at the Geneva grounds. And in the intermediate league on Friday, Cube Cheese Barbershop Bathurst State defeated RC Doctors 4-1 at the Bathurst State playing field. Denzel Lawrence scored 2 goals, with 1 each from Dwight Frederick and Angus Pilan for Bathurst State. Jamal John Baptist got a lone goal for Doctors. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Police Sports Club edged out Genesis 2-1 at the Bathurst State playing field. Thomas Kelly scored both goals for Police, with Abdul Ibrahim getting the lone goal for Genesis.
The football action will continue on Tuesday at the Pori Park in Point Michel, when Point Michel takes on Maosoka Strikers in the last quarter-final matchup of the Division 1 competition. In cricket, rain ruined West Indies women's chances of leveling their 5-match series with South Africa women when it washed out the 4th one-day international on Sunday. Chasing a 144 victory, West Indies were 8 without loss of 2 overs when rain ended the contest at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. The target was revised to 141 of 43 overs, but ground staff then ran out of time to get the playing area ready by the 3:55 p.m. cut-off time. Earlier, South Africa had struggled to 139 all-out of 43 overs after the bad weather resulted in a delayed start and forced the game to be reduced to 43 overs per side. Griselda Brits top scored with 36, while 19-year-old Dane van Niekerk struck 25, with the two snaring a 56-run, 6-wicket stand to pull their side around from 45 for 5 in the 22nd over. Both fell via the run-out route as West Indies regained control of the contest, snaring the last 5 wickets for 38 runs. Left-arm seamer Chanel Daly finished with 3 for 19, while medium pacer Shakira Selman claimed 2 for 24. History was made when the Knight sisters Casey and Kishona were included in the final 11 for the West Indies. The final and decisive is scheduled for Tuesday at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium.
Thank you, Lami, for that sports report. Now for today in history. On this day in 1895, blacks organized the National Steamboat Company in Washington, D.C. The company sailed a steamboat, the George Leary, between D.C. and Norfolk, Virginia. The luxury boat held a capacity of 1,500 passengers and included 3 decks, 64 staterooms, 100 berths, and a dining room. Now for the tip of the day. Beware of the garbage trucks. Many people are like garbage trucks. They run around full of garbage, full of frustration, full of anger, and full of disappointments. As their garbage piles up, they look for a place to dump it, and if you let them, they'll dump it on you. So when someone wants to dump on you, don't take it personally. Just smile, wave, wish them well, and move on. Believe me, you'll be happier. That's your tip of the day, and this takes us to the end of our news package for the evening. When we return, a recap of the headlines. And now for another look at the evening's top stories. 4 people injured in a vehicular accident near the Cove. Grenada general election set for February 19th. Syria conflict causing staggering humanitarian crisis. And in sports, 2 major upsets in line Premier League. You have been watching SAT TV News. We thank you for joining us and we invite you to join us again tomorrow for another news package. On behalf of SAT TV News production team, I am Misha Charles wishing you a pleasant evening. Feel free to send your queries and comments to news@sat.dm. You can also join us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/sattelecoms or follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/sattelecoms. Remember, SAT Telecoms is the people's choice and SATNet a better choice.
Of course, right now we are doing our present promotion, we're capturing the moment, and we chose you all as part of our moment, as part of our giving and our Christmas cheer. So we sat down and we had a list of names, and we said that we're going to choose the children ones so we could do a presentation of our hamper to you on behalf of the boys.
On behalf of the children, we mean the one. Well, I appreciate the gift, the gesture, to bring some cheer to those in need. So I'd like to say thank you to God.
We are here on behalf of Kotsu, and we chose the chances as part of our giving, our Christmas presentation. So therefore, we have placed together a special hamper, so we wanted to just present it to you today, right? On behalf of us, yes, of course.
It's a joy, the joy of Christmas, you know, for you to have presented us with this hamper this morning. I hope we can continue to work with Kotsu.
Of course.
You know that we will get more from you, but not only in kind, but in all other ways. Let me thank you.
We are here on behalf of Kotsu to make a small presentation of our hamper to you at the Operation Youthquake, and we chose you, so we decided we're going to do a surprise presentation to you.
Let me, on behalf of the young persons here at Operation Youthquake, the members of staff, the board of directors, say thank you to Kotsu for this presentation today. As you said, I'm sure it will go a long way, and we will surely use it to feed the children and to prepare them a nutritious meal. So I want to say thank you.